Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Got the MGB in the garage. Took a little bit of doing and some cleaning up. I do have the hot rod just sitting off camera because this is now taking the spot that it was living in. Basically, that's because I need to have access to the pit underneath so I can crawl under it and do some work. Got to replace the calipers or pull the calipers off to make sure they're okay. Replace the brake hoses, clutch master cylinder, clutch slave cylinder, clutch hose, and brake master cylinder. So master cylinders are up at the top, that's no problem, but everything else is going to be on the bottom side. So working in the pit is going to be a lot nicer. So, but the first thing I got to do is swap the that driver side front tire out. I'm going to put the spare on it eventually, because that thing holds air for like a couple hours and then goes flat. So the spare still has some air in it, so it's probably going to stay inflated for at least a little while. It does need new tires, but I want to get it running and driving under its own power first. So yeah, let's take that wheel off. So I'm just going to loosen it for now. Basically crack this till it spins, and then I'm going to lift the car up and take the wheels off. And I am going to take all of the wheels off, just so I can get into the drums in the rear and do some work on the front. All right, that's loose. Now the other three. That one's actually way looser than it should be. You should really have these things tight. But hey, the fact that it's loose doesn't hurt my feelings right now. So I'm going to go do the rest of them, and then we'll get this thing jacked up. Jacked up. Kind of sort of only on 3 jack stands because these things have a really stiff chassis, so that's nice. But if I wiggle it from back here, it's kind of rough. If I wiggle it from up front, it's solid. I just won't stand underneath the car, or I'll keep the floor jack there for safety. Anywho, let's finish getting these wheels off. So, driver's side, or the left side, is a normal right-hand thread. The passenger side is a normal right-hand thread. Passenger side is a left-hand thread. Ooh, my. Hey, little daddy long leg. I knew there was going to be some stuff going on in here. But, yeah, looks pretty clean. Yeah, that tire has seen far better days. Anywho. Cool. So, yeah, I'm going to just go through. We're going to disconnect a lot of these hoses. We'll get the wheels off first, but then we'll disconnect these hoses, and I'll show you how that works. Alright, so we are going to remove that nasty old brake hose. It actually looks really good, but all of these ones that are braided like this, if you can see that on the camera, it looks like a braided hose, but kind of rubber. These are original hoses, so this is from 1971. So it may look fine right now, but it will fail down the road. And since I plan on making this car reliable, we are going to replace all of the hoses. So basically what we're going to start with is our 9/16 wrench. We're going to let what little brake fluid is left leak out. If you were smart, you'd have a catch basin. I kind of forgot about that, so I'm just going to clean it off the floor later. But the master cylinder in this car is dry, so there's not going to be much in there. Next thing we're going to do is pull that nut off that mounts it. You could take a socket to this at this point, but they're pretty... Yeah, I'm going to grab a socket. Alright, 9/16 deep well acquired. And then I can hold with this end. I don't actually think this is... Oh, no, that may be a 9/16 on this bottom end. Pull it off the holder. I'm going to throw the nut on for safekeeping. And then we're going to remove the hose from the caliper. So that took a 5/16 wrench. A lot of this car uses what are called Whitworth or British Standard fasteners. Technically, Whitworth and British Standard are different, but the wrenches are the same size, just one size off. But that's a whole other thing I can talk about later. But basically, yeah, so a 5/8 fit this, but actually no, that fits pretty good. Sometimes I was expecting this to be pretty loose. But anyway, if you had a fresh hose, I don't have one right now, you basically either move this copper washer over to the fresh hose or use a new copper washer if you want to do it the right way. Reinstall this to where it just barely crushes, then put this back in, tighten that up, and then reinstall your brake pipe. And then you bleed it. But anyway, I'm not just doing the hoses. We're going to pull this caliper off. It's kind of hard to see, but there is a kind of lock tab. So you can see that bolt in the middle. There's a little tab that goes over it. Same with that bolt on the top. Basically what you do is you take a little screwdriver, you fold that tab away, and then you can stick your 5/8 wrench or socket on there and pull the caliper off. So that's what I'm going to do. Ow. Yes, I should have a hammer, but that's not a hammer. The other thing you can do is actually just take a wrench and just bust it loose just enough. That'll usually move the tab out of the way, kind of fold it back a little bit, and then you can get your screwdriver in and just with the right amount of wiggling get it to fold back down. Right. So now we can take my impact and pull those out. So if you couldn't see before, that is the plate and these are the tabs, and those get folded up onto the flat so that it can't back off. So a little bit better than a lock washer or something like that. Anyway, after that, if it's not stuck, which it's not because it was turning, the caliper just comes off. There's one rusty, crusty car. So, you're going to do that. All of the hoses are basically the same way, whether it's the brake or the clutch. I'm going to probably not show you the clutch because it's A, the same idea, and B, in a really, really tight spot. So like, you can get half a flat, basically if I'm going to be removing it, it's in the tunnel, and you can go this far, then you have to flip it, grab that, then flip it, and then grab it again. So not really a good place to show you, but just know that it's the same idea. And if your regular wrench doesn't fit, it's probably not metric, it's probably Whitworth, but basically you can try whether it's just use the wrench that feels the tightest. Also, while I'm in here, I am noticing a little more corrosion than I initially thought. I always look for it, but right up there, that's a little bit cancerous. So not the end of the world. Where am I? A little bit of cancer right there. Still a pretty good car, and I'm still very happy with it, but that's that. Okay, so there we go. Caliper back on. Fresh hose installed with fresh little copper washer. I also went and did the other side as well as the one to the rear axle. So now, confirmed the calipers are good, we're going to go take care of the wheel cylinders on the rear drums. First thing we're going to do is we're going to pull this drum off. These are all pretty loose fitting as far as I remember. So I shouldn't have to undo the adjuster, but if I do, I do. I'm going to take a 3/4 inch socket for at least this guy. And we're going to pull all 4 of those off. Pry this guy. If it is too tight, then we can always loosen the pad adjuster or the shoe adjuster. But considering how easily this thing spun, I shouldn't have to worry about that. Okay. It would be probably worth it for me to have adjusted that. Basically, there's just a nut on the back side. Feels like 1/4 inch. Usually use a square drive. Loosen that, and that brings these shoes in and out. Anywho, let's see. Thought I saw some wetness in there. Being said, this is all ancient, so anything's going to be pretty dry anyway. So, first step is going to be to pull these little retainers off. You can either twist the cap in, push the cap in and twist it, or what works a lot with these is to actually just grab the middle bit and twist that until it lines up and pops through. And it looks like I'm definitely going to need to pick up some new shoes because these are pretty worn. Not too bad. I've already had the other side off and they're worse. So, anywho, I'm going to unplug that. Oh, also, before it gets too late, I'm going to disconnect the handbrake. Yeah. Okay. Okay, main reason I'm removing that is because I'm going to probably just try to take all of this out as an assembly. So that spring gone, then if we're good enough, we're going to just pull this off of that wheel cylinder. Pull this side off of the wheel cylinder. And then we can take that out as one single assembly. Then reassemble the new shoes and then put it right back. And we'll not forget our spring. Okay, so now it's time to do the wheel cylinder. It's pretty easy. We're just going to take a 7/16 wrench from the back side, pop a clip off of it. Just there's a giant E-clip on it, and then it's just going to pull right out. Super simple. I'm going to take a screwdriver to pop the E-clip. So it sits like this, concave down like that. Okay. I wonder if this one's been replaced already. This looks like it might be one of the new styles. Nope, because that is not metric. The new ones, the bleeder is, whatchamacallit, 7mm for some unknown reason. This one looks like it's 1/4 inch. Anywho, just pop the frick out of there. The other side was easier. I don't know why. Come on. There we go. So, that's our wheel cylinder. Brake pipe goes in there. That is a pin to just kind of keep it centered so it doesn't twist. And then that there is our bleeder. The new one is a 7mm. It needs to get removed before we put it in. The old one is smaller. So let me go grab that new one, pull that out, and then we're going to pull the bleeder out. The reason is the old ones, the bleeder kind of came in square. The new ones, it's angled. So if you try to get it in, it won't line up. The other thing is sometimes this pin is in the wrong spot and you have to enlarge that hole. So you enlarge that hole and then you can get this guy to fit. I got lucky on the other side. We'll see how it works on this one. Hopefully good. All right. Beautiful. Reattach the bleeder. Basically, the new clips are too thick, and so what that means is you can't really get them in. They don't want to like snap into place. You have to just struggle really hard. So I'm going to use the old clip because it was doing fine for years. I may have squished it a little too much though. I think properly threaded into this. It's really hard to tell because everything's kind of holding it in place. Alright guys, that's all for now. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Hat's falling off. Crap falling in my eyes.